threatening to veto the COVID, the $900 billion COVID bill and the $740 billion military bill he just went ahead and vetoed. And then there's like another $2 trillion government bill. So who knows what the hell's going to happen in the last few remaining hours of this presidency. H.R. 6395 NDAA, Donald Trump has vetoed the National Defense of Authorization Act, which essentially just gets rubber stamped every single year because everybody loves the military. Everybody's for defense. Nobody ever objects to this shit. And here, Donald Trump is vetoing the military. He defunded the military in defense of the Confederacy, according to Chuck Schumer. I'm going to read the whole veto message, so we'll see if the Confederate thing is there. But Chuck Schumer wrote on Twitter, Donald Trump just vetoed a pay raise for our troops just so he could defend dead Confederate traitors. So Donald Trump also said that this is a gift to China and Russia. So that's been quoted a lot. So H.R. 6395 NDAA, $740 billion is being held up right now because Donald says it's a big old gift to China and Russia. So he's going to defund the military, and what has to happen now is Congress has to override his veto with two-thirds of the vote. Two-thirds of Congress has to override his veto if this bill is going to pass, or they'll just have to rewrite the bill, one that Donald Trump likes better. So here is Donald Trump's veto message to the House of Representatives for H.R. 6395, issued December 23rd, 2020. To the House of Representatives, I am returning, without my approval, H.R. 6395, the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2021. The act, my administration recognizes the importance of the act to our national security. Unfortunately, the act fails to include critical national security measures, including provisions that fail to respect our veterans and our military's history and contradicts efforts by my administration to put America first in our national security and foreign policy actions. It's a gift to China and Russia. No one has worked harder or approved more money for the military than I have, over $2 trillion. During my 4 years, with the support of many others, we have almost entirely rebuilt the U.S. military, which was totally depleted when I took office. Your failure to terminate the very dangerous national security risk of Section 230 will make our intelligence virtually impossible to conduct without everyone knowing what we are doing at every step. The Act fails to make any meaningful changes to Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, despite bipartisan calls for repealing that provision. Section 230 facilitates the spread of foreign disinformation online, which is a serious threat to our national security and election integrity. It must be repealed. Additionally, the Act includes language that would require the renaming of certain military installations. Oh, shit! In defense of the Confederacy, Donald Trump defunded the U.S. military. And then what the Confederacy did, my God? Donald Trump did what the Nazis couldn't do, take over the world, take over the empire. Donald Trump is doing what the Confederates couldn't do, taking all the money out of the U.S. Treasury, right? Stopping the U.S. military from getting a fucking dime unless they respect the Confederacy. Oh, fuck. What the fuck? Holy fucking shit. Oh, my fucking God. Over the course of U.S. history, these locations have taken on significance to the American story and those who have helped write it that far transcends their namesakes. My administration respects the legacy of the millions of American servicemen and women who have served with honor at these military bases and who from these locations have fought, bled, and died for the country from these facilities. We have won 2 world wars. It's Confederate he wants to name military bases after Confederate generals. I have been clear my opposition to politically motivated attempts like this to wash away history and to dishonor the immense progress our country has fought for in realizing our founding principles. He's defending the Confederacy. I don't think you get much more fucking racist than that. Nazis, Confederate, KKK. You don't know who David Duke is. What? You denounce white supremacy? No. I will never denounce white supremacy. Proud Boys. Fucking rise up, Proud Boys. The Act also restricts the President's ability to preserve our nation's security by arbitrarily limiting the amount of military construction funds that can be used to respond to a national emergency. In a time when adversaries have the means to directly attack the homeland, the President must be able to safeguard the American people without having to wait for congressional authorization. The Act also contains an amendment that would slow down the rollout of nationwide 5G, especially in rural areas. Numerous provisions of the Act directly contradict my administration's foreign policy, particularly my efforts to bring our troops home. I oppose endless wars, as does the American public, over bipartisan objections. However, this act purports to restrict the president's ability to withdraw troops from Afghanistan, Korea, and South Korea. Okay, not just defending the Confederacy, also restricting the empire. Apparently, this bill stops him from withdrawing troops from South Korea, Germany, and Afghanistan. Not only is this bad policy, it's unconstitutional. Article 2 of the Constitution makes the President the Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy of the United States, and vests in him the executive power. Therefore, the decision regarding how many troops to deploy and where, including in Afghanistan, Germany, and South Korea, rests with him. The Congress may not arrogate this authority to itself directly or indirectly as purported spending restrictions. For all these reasons, I cannot support this bill. My administration has taken strong actions to help keep our nation safe and support our service members. I will not approve this bill, which would put the interest of the Washington, D.C. establishment over those of the American people. It is my duty to return H.R. 6395 to the House of Representatives without my approval. Donald Jennifer Trump, the White House, December 23rd, 2020. Here is Kit Cabello, some guy who doesn't like to wash his hair or his face. He just wants to be as grimy and dirty and gross as Hard Lens Media. I agree with Hard Lens Media, but this is just kind of like a Jordan Sheridan, right? I agree with his points, but he's, I don't like Kit Cabello. I don't like the way he holds himself. I like the other guy. The other guy is like just on point. He's just every fucking thing he says. He does his hair, right? He washes his face. But they're talking about force the vote, and Kit Cabello is on Jimmy Dore's side.
Responding to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's argument that it takes years of organizing to lay down the groundwork for seemingly spontaneous progressive breakthroughs. Dore exclaimed, "I figured this out in 2 weeks, AOC, you liar, you coward, you gaslighter." The comedian's proposition, if not his condemnation of AOC, was taken up by a gaggle of other left-wing YouTube commentators.
Alright, so they're just reading some article. It's a attack piece. This is given way too much.
The frauds that they are, the heartless bastards that they are, and when corporate media from 2016 and even before 2016 kept on shooting down the idea of Medicare for all and other progressive policy, because guess what? Corporate media, similar to all the politicians in Washington, D.C., both Democrat and Republican, are owned by corporations. They are owned. They're proud prostitutes to the establishment.
That's obvious. So I like that he's getting angry. This is good stuff here.
Saying, withhold your vote for speakership. Have someone else as Speaker of Nancy than Nancy. But if Nancy does put it on the floor vote, I want to see who's going to vote for it, who's going to vote against it. We want to see who these people are so we can kick their butts out of Congress so that we can protest in front of their homes, so we make their lives miserable, because as far as I'm concerned, none of those elected representatives in the House and Senate deserve our respect, deserve our kindness, deserve any compassion, because they're public servants. They work for us. And again, we're seeing on social media how everyone's saying, well, it's just white males that are allying with Jimmy Dore. Gee, white males? White males?
That seems like very heavy politics-y for not a lot of reason.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds really familiar, doesn't it?
Hey, maybe they're all the Bernie bros. That's where they're at. They're trying to get people
Bernie bros!
Yeah.